Only here you'll have 2 real double beds on board an airliner, along with amazing service and 3 different top champagnes to choose from. And yet, it's not the best first class in the world.
What?
But one of the best ways to redeem miles you can fly here in the world's most spacious first class, Singapore Airlines first class suites on the Airbus A380. Emirates has put 14 first-class seats in the same space where Singapore Airlines only has 6 suites. They're not just a seat, but small real rooms. What do you get on board and what don't you get? How is it different from the regular Singapore first class? What is the first class experience like before departure? How unique is the private room in Singapore? And why, despite all the luxury, is it not the best first class in the world? We'll find out in Singapore Changi and on board the A380 from Singapore to India. So here we are on board the Singapore Airlines Airbus A380 in their first class suites, where Emirates has 14 first class seats on the same space. They have only 6 first class suites, so I think I don't have to say more. This is by far the most spacious, the most luxurious first class, I would say, of all airlines worldwide, except for the shower. They don't have a shower. Anyway, we have to look at all of that a little later into the flight. Now we're just gonna relax and enjoy the flight. I think it's gonna be quite a special one, but you should never give the result before the end of the day, so we'll see. Anyway, let's look forward now to this flight on Singapore Airlines first class suite in 5 hours from Singapore to Delhi. In Singapore, our journey begins with arrival at a separate terminal wing for passengers of Singapore Airlines First Class and Solitaire PPS Club members. First class passengers of other Star Alliance airlines do not have access here. Check-in feels more like the reception of a 5-star hotel. You won't see baggage belts here, and then we go through a separate dedicated security check, of course without the queues and without any stressed staff or passengers. And here we are in the airside area of Changi Airport, which has been voted best airport worldwide 12 times in 25 years. It is not just the beautiful architecture that makes it special and the fact that the entire airport is carpeted. There's also a movie theater that is free for everyone to access, and even a butterfly garden. But we are going to the lounge, and for Singapore first class passengers, that is not just the first class lounge, which is accessible to the high status customers and first class passengers of Star Alliance airlines such as Lufthansa, but a lounge within a lounge. The private room is accessible from the first class lounge, and it's yet one level above it. Only first class passengers of Singapore Airlines have access, and even the high status is of no use here. You're also not allowed to take guests with you. And then one last thing that makes it all really exclusive, or feels really exclusive, is that you're being addressed with your last name. I mean, you're being led into the private room personally. Then there's almost no guests here because it's only for first class and first class suite passengers of Singapore Airlines. So people know you by name and they will address you by your name. At least that feels really exclusive, doesn't it? It's basically a large, elegant room with numerous seating niches with large armchairs. At the end is the a la carte restaurant. There are 2 types of high-priced champagne and other very good wines. The menu is extensive and full of excellent ingredients, although not everything was really very well prepared. There's a children's playroom and nap rooms, which is a complete understatement because they're real bedrooms like in a hotel. And finally, there are huge, luxurious shower rooms. Oh, but look at this shower room. Look, the shower itself, it's just gigantic. You can have a little dance even, if you like, and if you lost your mind, maybe. And the products here are lotion and eau de toilette by Lalique. Unfortunately, Singapore Airlines First Class does not include a personal escort service to the lounge or to the plane like Lufthansa does, or even a pickup service after arrival at the aircraft door like Air France La Première does. It's almost a shame because it would be only a small step, seeing how personalized the service already is here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Allow me to carry it back.
Very much.
You travel along the middle?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
much.
TravelSingFly has just been nominated for the German Traveler Awards, a great honor, and this report is part of a whole series about Singapore Airlines and one of well over 100 airline and travel reports on TravelSingFly. After this video, click through the free content here and subscribe to the channel for regular new, entertaining and informative reports. And if you like this report, let me know with the comment and your thumbs up. And here we're climbing out of Singapore already, and every time it's so impressive just how silent this gigantic Airbus A380 is. I mean, outside it's so loud, and here it's just super quiet, especially on the upper deck, especially in the front of the upper deck, of course. So that's really quite impressive. Upon boarding I got addressed with my last name, then I got escorted to my seat, and this is a real suite. Not just a seat with a door that other airlines call already a suite, but it's a real one with a real chair, a real bed, a dining table, and all this, a lot of space. So this is by far the most spacious seat, the most spacious suite in first class of all airlines worldwide. Very impressive. Then they have already the amenity kit at the seat, there's pajamas at the seat. And then there's of course the menu here by the seat already, and as a welcome drink they don't just offer some juice, some water and some random champagne, but they have the whole list of drinks available as a welcome drink, including the very exclusive champagnes, including crew champagne. Then the crew is really fantastic, very friendly, enthusiastic, very knowledgeable also, and you can really see that they do this here as a lifelong job, as a real profession, not just as a step in between jobs, but as a real profession. And you can really see that this enthusiasm for their work is really fantastic, and it's really fun to see as a guest too. I really appreciate that so much. Before we really get started here, let's take a look at the seat, and in this case it's not just a big seat with or without a door, but literally a real room. The seat cannot be converted into a bed because there's a real bed here anyway. Instead, the chair can be rotated on its own axis, and of course you can lean back. The large TV screen on the wall can be swiveled so you can watch TV straight both from the seat and from the bed. The large dining table is folded out under the menu stand at the other wall. There are small storage compartments by the window, as well as a tablet and more shelves. If you're traveling alone and the neighboring suite is free, you can lower the partition wall in the first 2 rows and have a huge private double suite. And if you're wondering where my beautiful suitcase went, each of the 6 suites has its own wardrobe that even fits hand luggage. And before we get to the many other highlights of this flight, here's a few words about my luggage from level 8, because it's not just an eye-catcher, but really a worthwhile investment for all travelers. On this trip I'm traveling only with hand luggage, and again with luggage by level 8, and this is such a nice one. I'm really happy that I chose this one because it's not only stylish and really very beautiful to look at, but it's also very practical. Inside it's such a nice layout that you can not just travel for 2 or 3 days, but also for 4 and 5 days only with hand luggage. In my video about choosing and packing hand luggage for longer trips, I already talked about the amount of space in this very suitcase. The reason is that the handles are hidden in the frame, so you can pack 2 completely flat sides of this suitcase. This luggage is not only of high quality, but also offers an enormous amount of storage space for hand luggage, and it's not just available in black and yellow. Its big brother has additional handles that put an end to back pain when lifting it into a car, and the Gibraltar aluminum hand luggage is also very chic and elegant. But all level 8 suitcases have one thing in common: the best wheels I've ever seen, and they roll easily even on difficult surfaces. And if you'd like to have a hand luggage like this too, or some other item of level 8, just have a look at the video description. You'll find a link to level 8, and just put in the code TRAVELSINGFLY15, you're gonna get a really great discount on all items of level 8 and maybe, for example, also this beautiful luggage. The culinary experience begins around 30 minutes after takeoff with the signature dish satay, which is served as an amuse-bouche before the table is set. I ordered some white wine with it, and the perfect service lies in the details here. Like in a good restaurant, you can taste the wine before it's being poured. And the other flight attendant was actually waiting in the aisle, invisible, to seamlessly close the door again. Service here on board Singapore Airlines in business and first class starts with their signature dish, and that is really satay. And so there's some satay skewers and some cucumbers and onions and the famous peanut sauce that makes the whole thing a satay. And with it I'm having some really beautiful white wine, and that's a Meursault. In the private room they already had some Meursault, a very beautiful wine of course, and here they still have a level up. And that's a Meursault Premier Cru Chateau de Blagny from 2020. So that's from the castle of Blagny, and that's actually property of Louis Latour, of the Louis Latour family. And they started growing and cultivating wine already in the 18th century. So this is not just a very wonderful wine, but also lots of history behind it. The first real starter is coming soon, so let's use the time until then to check out the exclusive lavatories here, because they're located behind and above the cockpit in the aircraft's curvature, with a lot of space that needs to be used. So every airline here has the chance to be inspired. As opposed to Emirates and Etihad, Singapore Airlines decided against showers on board the Airbus A380 in first class. Instead, you have a really nice large bathroom, a really nice large lavatory with a nice large water basin with a kind of waterfall faucet. Then you have a nice vanity corner with a mirror and a seat just to admire yourself or get depressed, depending on how you feel. Then, of course, there's the toilet over there. So altogether, really nice and spacious with all the mirrors here too. Only Emirates and Etihad offer onboard showers on the A380, and you can see what they both look like, namely quite different from each other, in my reports on Emirates First Class and the Etihad First Class apartments. It's almost a shame that there are no showers here on this A380, because the perfection otherwise far surpasses the Gulf carriers. And there's of course more airlines that don't have showers on board the Airbus A380 in first class, for example ANA, Asiana, Lufthansa and also Qatar Airways. On my flight from Frankfurt to New York, the first class catering was noticeably poor. Here it was the opposite. Ingredients and preparation were both excellent, and I think it had a lot to do with the fact that we started in Singapore and not Frankfurt. The lack of caviar on this 5-hour flight, which is available on the longer routes and across the Atlantic, was completely irrelevant. In the meantime, after the appetizer, I got served the starter dish, but now let's first have a look here at the menu. So there's of course first of all an exclusively Indian menu. So you have all kinds of Indian dishes here, and then you have the regular menu, and that's first of all, of course, satay, then 2 kinds of starters, including a soup. Then there's 3 kinds of main courses and 3 kinds of desserts, including cheese. Of course, there's also the bread basket, and you could also choose from all kinds of dishes before the flight. what they call Book the Cook. And Book the Cook is actually the program of Singapore Airlines. If you would like to choose something before your flight, you just have a list of all kinds of dishes you can choose from just online, and then you get served that way. When it comes to drinks and the drink list, Singapore Airlines is definitely in the first league. They don't have rosé champagne, but they have 3 different kinds of really nice champagne. There's first of all the Taitinger 2012 Comte Champagne, then they have the 2015 Boulanger or Bordinger Grand Année, and they have the very beautiful Krug Grand Cuvée, a very nice champagne. They don't have Dom Pérignon anymore because Emirates just took the rights for all Dom Pérignon on board of Airlines. But actually they have better champagne here without just trumpeting it out to the world, without super promoting it. They just have the better ones, and that's quite stylish too. Then they have 2 kinds of red wines, especially a very nice Bordeaux, and that's a 2006 Chateau Pichot Longueville Comtesse de Lalande. So that's a really nice Bordeaux. And then they have a 20-year-old Graham Tawny Port. So that's a port wine. Then, of course, they have all kinds of really strong spirits. They have the soft drinks, and they have coffee. They have a barista service here, really nice espresso, and so on. So, surviving is guaranteed. Have the opportunity now to buy me some coffee and keep me awake during my long nights editing videos at home. Buy Me a Coffee is your chance to support my work with the amount of a cup of coffee. You can buy me 1 or more coffees, and you can find the link in the top right of the window and in the video description. It's even easier with a super thank. You can find that directly under the video. I would be very happy because everything here is self-funded and really expensive to produce, and unfortunately tickets for the reports don't grow on trees for me either. Thank you so much for your support. Now all the catering was so nice, all the nice appetizers, then lobster thermidor was just fantastic, the nice white wine that was Merceau, and then the red wine, a really fantastic and outstanding Bordeaux actually, then all those champagnes, and then the cheese platter also was much better than like 3 or 4 years ago when I was on their first class suites before, so really much better. And then also the whole experience here, very nice. I mean, the dessert was rather normal, but all the rest was really fantastic. What an experience! By the way, what I'm wearing here does not come from my wardrobe. It's time for the amenities. Except for the short-haul route to Jakarta, there are amenity kits in Singapore Airlines first class branded by the French luxury label La Ligue. They contain moisturizer, lip balm and facial spray, as well as eau de toilette by La Ligue. And on flights from Singapore there are different kinds for men and ladies, and all other flights offer unisex kits like here to New York with soap and scented candles. On flights over 5 hours you get also very nice pajamas from La Ligue in 4 sizes, and I better not say which size was mine. Let's wear it instead for what it's intended for, the bed in this incredible suite at 30k feet. Now this is just fantastic. The bed at Singapore Airlines first class suites is just unmatched by any other airline, because only here you can really make your bed a double bed, a real double bed, because once you have the next suite not occupied, you just put down the partition wall and you have a whole double bed just to yourself. Like here, it's really fantastic. You have a little mattress here, very nice, comfortable. Then you have this blanket here, also very comfortable, not too hot, not too cold. Then you have 2 pillows, just fantastic, so comfortable. And you have all the space to yourself, and you could really travel here also for 24 hours in super high comfort, not getting tired. You have a nice monitor screen to watch movies and a great entertainment system as well. So it's just unparalleled, unmatched, and just fantastic. And you can watch movies from the bed, just like in your own home. But you should not get too private, because even though the walls are so high that you have to make an effort to look over them, the doors have viewing holes as decoration. But of course, that is primarily for safety. Singapore Airlines entertainment system Chris World, which is of course the same in all classes, is one of the largest of all airlines, with almost 2,000 options to choose from, including movies, full seasons of TV series, music and games. Passengers can also get personalized recommendations and create custom playlists. The system also includes live TV, which offers access to news and sports, as well as interactive features. Getting bored is really difficult here. The sound in Singapore Airlines first class comes from noise-cancelling headsets by Bang & Olufsen, and there are big differences in this area too. While with some airline headphones you wonder whether the noise cancellation is really switched on, even though it is. Here you get the full music and film experience and don't notice any flight noise. The flight from Singapore to Delhi or Mumbai takes over 5 hours and is probably the best way to redeem KrisFlyer miles, which can also be generated by converting points from quite a few bank cards and hotel programs. There's also a fair amount of availability to Mumbai and Delhi as a first class saver award if you look around a bit and are flexible with your time. Now we're descending into Delhi, and in this moment I always say, now how was this flight? I think this time it's pretty obvious. It was quite fantastic, and I'm so happy I'm going on this flight, or I've been going on this flight again after about 3 years ago when I went from Frankfurt to New York, because this was so much better. First of all, the catering out of Singapore is clearly so much better than out of Frankfurt. That's just a fact. The catering was fantastic. Everything from the starter to the appetizer to the main dish, main courses to the dessert was really fantastic. And then comes the wine list or beverage list. That was really pretty outstanding too. They don't have such a huge selection, but what they have is really very good. The 2 white ones, the 2 red ones, very good. And I mean, the 3 champagnes are just very nice. And on top of that, of course, Krug champagne. So there's not many airlines that serve Krug. And then, of course, the staff. The staff is actually the star of Singapore Airlines because they're really very well trained. You can see that they know everything about their job. They're very passionate about it. And actually, in a tough moment, I would totally confide in them because I know they know what to do in a problematic moment, problematic situation. And I cannot say that about every airline in the world, actually. Then, as I said, the catering was very good. And then we have this seat. I mean, you have this beautiful chair. Then you have all this here, the cabinets. Then you have the really nice big table. And then you have a real bed that folds down into a double bed if the next suite is available. So that's really all fantastic. There's not anything that could be better except maybe showers. That you get only on Etihad and Emirates, but here you get a so much more classic cabin. So it was quite a treat to be on Singapore Airlines first class suites again, and I hope really that I can go on them again in the future. It would be just fantastic. Anyway, as I said, fantastic place, fantastic suite, and an absolute 100% recommendation. What a great first class. The highlight for me is the experienced and sophisticated cabin crew. Then there are these real rooms with a proper double bed. But is it the best first class in the world? I don't think that exists. Space and service are perfect here, but showers are only available on Emirates and Etihad, while Singapore, Emirates, Qatar, Etihad and others offer the same luxury on the way to the plane as economy class, namely not at all. Lufthansa is convincing with the first class terminal in Frankfurt and especially Air France, where passengers are taken from the lounge to the plane and are picked up from the plane somewhere in the world and accompanied through security to their car. But they again don't have real suites on board, so it's difficult to say there's a best first class, but the airlines mentioned all offer something that's special. And we've landed in Delhi. What an interesting flight. I hope you really enjoyed this flight report. If yes, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, that's really important, and there's lots of really exciting airline reports waiting for you, and also hotel reviews and destination reports from all continents of the world. And one really interesting one would be this one, so check it out right away and see you there here at Travel Sing Fly.